Is a household name in the classical vocal traditions that have their roots in Europe. But for more than 25 years, Thomas Hampson has dedicated himself to reviving and celebrating American traditions in song. Fred to Sam Lazaro went to see that on full display in Aspen, Colorado for our Arts and Culture series, Canvas.
My days have been so wondrous free.
My days have been so wondrous free would seem like a fitting start to a concert held on Independence Day weekend, composed, after all, by one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence, Francis Hopkinson, drawing from the poetry of Thomas Parnell. Thomas Hampson grew up in Spokane, Washington, and had a storybook path to stardom, attending prestigious music academies before his lyrical baritone was discovered. He's performed some 80 opera roles around the world and is a renowned recording artist as well in the solo vocal tradition of Lieder. But along with the European greats from Schumann to Verdi, he's also loved the American tradition in song. Like Charles Ives.
All summer long, we boys dream about big circus toys.
Or Harry Burleigh, the prolific 19th century African-American composer. Hampson says nothing compares to the rich variety of song in America.
To me, it's the essential e pluribus unum statement.
Which does not imply homogeneity.
No, it's exactly not homogeneity. E pluribus unum does not mean the deletion of the difference. In fact, it means listening to the difference.
Why should the beautiful ever weep? Why should the beautiful die?
Here at the Aspen Music Festival, he showcased that difference with a program varied in culture, geography, and period in American song, accompanied by pianist Myra Huang, and on some works like this by 19th century songwriter Stephen Foster, violinist Jerusha Taylor.
I think in this very volatile time we're in, that one of the great refuges is the arts and humanities and the stories of who we are, especially as Americans.
The works were selected from an online library called Song of America. Hampson began compiling it decades ago in partnership with the Library of Congress.
All of these composers and poets, they were asking us, what does America sound like when it remembers itself? I heard the singing.
All of the works today saw the composer draw from poets who came before. There were works by 20th century composers like Aaron Copland and Margaret Bonds, the latter using the poetry of Langston Hughes.
Bosom turn all golden in the sunset.
From contemporary composer Jennifer Higdon, The Death of Lincoln, with words from William Cullen Bryant.
We bear thee to an honored grave, whose proudest monument shall be the broken fetters of the slave.
Can you teach history through song? Heavens, yes. It's fantastically interesting. All of the songs are tips of icebergs. We could spend an hour going through every one of them with all the wonderful anecdotal connections.
If any of you are teachers in whatever field in American studies, I will give you a song to augment your teaching plan.
His Song of America library was built to be accessible to teachers, to increase the visibility overall of a cultural treasure that a commercialized market makes no room for. And he says song can provide a safe space for reckoning with skeletons in America's cultural closet, notably issues around race or sexual orientation.
For you have strayed.
He closed with To What You Said, a Walt Whitman poem that Leonard Bernstein put to song, some scholars think because it speaks of repressed love at a time Bernstein was having a sexual identity crisis.
Behold, love choked, correct, polite, always suspicious.
You know, people are very agitated today about the indoctrination of young people because of this or that path of education. You know, you can either dam up the ocean or you can teach people to swim. And I prefer to teach people to swim.
Are they to me?
What I sing is infinitely more important than who I am. We must listen to one another.
Hampson now lives in Austria. He continues to teach and perform around the world. For the PBS News Hour, I'm Sam Lazaro in Aspen, Colorado.